like to call a regular scheduled meeting of September the 16th, 2025 to order. Item 1.1 on our agenda is a proclamation for Alberta Development Officers Week, September 23rd to the 26th of 2025. Whereas development officers play a critical role in shaping Alberta communities through the administration of land use bylaws, policies, and regulations that guide responsible growth and development. And whereas the town of Redwater values thoughtful planning and development is key to supporting economic growth, attracting investment, and enhancing quality of life for residents, businesses, and visitors alike. And whereas Alberta Development Officers Week provides an opportunity to recognize the expertise and dedication of those who ensure that development is safe, sustainable, and aligned with local goals and provincial legislation. And whereas development officers support service excellence by ensuring developments meet safety, aesthetic, and technical standards that contribute to a high quality of life for residents, businesses, and visitors. And whereas the work of development officers supports Redwater's strategic plan as a growing, well-planned community and reflects our commitment to service excellence and strategic economic development. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Dave McRae, on behalf of Town Council of Redwater, do hereby proclaim September 23rd to the 26th, 2025, Alberta Development Officers Week in the town of Redwater. I encourage all residents, businesses, and organizations to join in recognizing and celebrating the skill of development officers. We have no public hearings scheduled. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda from administration?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I believe on your agenda there is an 11.2 aerial mapping photography funding request and options. I'd like to strike that from the agenda tonight, and I'll give council an idea why here in 2 seconds. And then under 13.2.1, I'd like to add Alberta Municipalities Convention RCMP meeting request, and it's an email from the local detachment with a request for council. So.
Thank you.
The reason, Mr. Mayor, if I could, the reason for 11.2 being taken off of the agenda, we've last minute two times. Last week we were brought forward an opportunity to get some aerial mapping done and updated, because our aerial mapping right now is from 2021, and partnering with a couple other municipalities from other places in Alberta. Very good cost, but we got even a better cost when Sturgeon County agreed to give us what they have for free from 2024.
Thank you. Any additions or deletions to the agenda from council? Not seeing any, I'll seek a motion from council to accept the amendments to the agenda. Thank you, Councillor Cosby. Any discussion? Not seeing any, I'll call that question. All in favor? That's carried. And I'll look for a second motion, Councillor Olson.
Make the motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Thank you. Discussion? Not seeing any, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Chair's prerogative, I'm going to move 7.1 forward, and that is our Leaders in Training and Garden Training Appreciations. And I'll call Ms. Melnick first to say a few words.
Yeah, I just want to say a quick thank you to you guys. Without you guys, these programs don't happen. And like, we had almost 700 kids between summer programs and our swimming lessons. And I know that you guys volunteer a lot of your summer. Without, let's face it, you guys could be hanging out with your friends and hanging out at the pool without looking after all the children there. And you guys spent your summer doing this, and it is greatly appreciated, like huge. So thank you to all of you.
Following that, a couple of weeks ago, we had the opportunity to meet with our summer students who worked with Public Works and spent the summer looking after weeds and flower beds and the other side of beautiful for the community. That's the next step. That's something you can aspire towards as you get a little bit older and have more talents and skills. And it becomes extremely important when council understands how important you are to our community. And I'll just give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I lived in Whitecourt, there was a really nice swimming pool. It was enclosed, it was used quite a bit and everything else. And one year, they didn't open like everybody thought they were going to open. And the reason was they didn't have any guards. They hadn't promoted the use of the facility through the youth to make sure that the next step was looked after, that the next group was coming online to make sure everything was viable. And it was a scramble for a week or so before they could find something and make it work and look after it. So for our leaders in training and our guards in training, the steps that you're taking to make our community a great place to live can't be measured. I'll fall back on that TV commercial where they say the card is priceless. Having that support from our youth is exactly that, priceless. I'd like to take 30 seconds to introduce you to Councillor Melnick, Councillor Olson, Councillor Cosby, Councillor Williams, and Councillor Spicer. And unfortunately, Councillor Butcher couldn't be here this evening. But from all of us at this table, thank you, and thank you very much. So I've got a few little certificates to hand out here. Just calling up. Come on forward. If you want to slide through and grab everybody's hand on your way by, you're more than welcome to. But Rylan, there you are. How was your summer? Very good. Thank you very much for everything. You slide through here and just wait on the other end. We'll get that group photo.
Thank you.
Hunter. How's your summer?
It was good.
Yeah, good, great. Slide through and hang on the other end there for the photograph. Henry?
Thank you. Thank you for your help. So,
Okay, hang on a second, Henry.
oh, your mom wants a picture.
Camera up.
Ready.
Slide through.
Buddy, I like your tie.
Alexander?
Thanks, Ed. Good job, young man.
And your summer? Very good. No, thank you. That's appreciated. Take care.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Faith? Had a good summer. Awesome summer. Well, that's
Remember that,
great.
thanks. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Brendan? Thanks, Derek. How was your summer?
Good.
You had a good one?
Picture.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
I've done this once before, so I'm good luck.
Good job.
And then from guards and training,
Put that down.
how was your summer? Good. Oh, hang on.
No, you need a picture.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
I didn't see Dominic.
Dominic said hockey practice in McKenna is working.
Okay. So that's everybody, yeah. So let's bring everybody back up in the middle. Council, if you want to shadow them, we'll get a big picture. Come on up.
Getting behind.
We'll take one step forward, and then council can slide behind. Come on over this way, Hunter. Slide to the left, everybody. Slide left. There we go.
Behind.
The flags in the middle.
Yeah. To stand in front.
Wait for David.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Yeah.
You might mean Rob.
Remember, Rob.
I don't know.
Boardroom,
Rob.
Joe,
Some
in
of
the
these kids are
boardroom.
taller than me.
Say again, over.
Everybody get enough photos? All right. Again, thanks, everybody. We really appreciate it.
You guys like it? You guys?
Have a good night.
Hi to Brett.
Oh, no, they get to keep it.
To spend it. It's Friday.
Hi. What I got for my birthday?
Good evening, thank you.
Thank you very much for visiting. Right.
What happened?
So, we have agenda item number 6, public input. Sean, come on up, talk to us. Explain the circumstance so that we understand it well.
So we moved here 5 years ago, so I only remember this because our mortgage is up for renewal. Ever since we moved in, we bought the duplex in town, just on 54th there. There was no fence when we started. It was just kind of a dirt lot. So when we bought it, we completely landscaped the back, put sod down, built a fence across the back. We put a little aluminum shed in the back, and so never had any problems for 4.5 years. And we got a notice that the shed was, I guess, not sitting in a right spot, and that I guess our property was not permitted to have a garage or a shed, which I understand the garage thing. It's not a really big property, so the garage thing's fine. The shed is maybe 6 by 6. Just on, we built a wooden platform for it, so that it was off the ground. Just basically to store some of the little outside toys, lawnmowers, stuff like that. Now we were told we have to either move it or it sits kind of in the middle of our yard, which couldn't even sit in the middle of our yard because it's not 6 feet from the dwelling of the house. So I guess we're trying to see if, I don't know, we can get it kind of amended or they can have this rule looked at a little bit, because I know if we're getting penalized, I've heard of a couple other people, but I know there's obviously probably 500 other sheds in the town that do not follow this rule. So I mean, if we're gonna kind of penalize 1 or 2 people, I guess it should go town-wide. I don't want to bring everybody down with me, or that's not what I'm trying to do on this circumstance. It's just, you know, when you've been there for 4.5 years, never had a issue with the shed, and 1 issue now, and you know, you see, like I said, thousands of other sheds. It's either we gotta fix them all, or amend the rule maybe. But that's kind of where I'm at.
Super. Anything from council? Colin?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
What did it exactly say? I didn't get to see what, so does it, do you have to move it, did they tell you?
I think
It's 1.5 meters from the fence line.
yeah, so it's, and I mean, it's kind of weird the way that some of it's worded. Like, I'm not I guess the person that understands some of that wording for it, but the base that I got, it has to be 1.5 feet from the back and your side neighbor, or the side adjacent fences.
Meters, not
1.5 meters.
Yeah.
1.5, yeah, meters, so 5 feet.
feet.
So 5 feet on both sides, which, I mean, for a little shed, just kind of seems a little excessive. But I mean, I understand there's rules, but that's the base that I got of it.
Just, I think Councillor Spicer and I were talking a little earlier. I believe the orientation for that 1.5 meters is fire access, if there was ever a fire, to keep it from moving forward and everything, similar to what side setbacks are for the house next to you, sort of thing. But the fact you brought it forward is important to us because we've always said our land use bylaw is a living document and we have to be able to interpret it and figure out how it best suits everybody, not just some. The other thing that jumps into my mind is I know there's lots of history in the backyards of a lot of the residences here, and it would be interesting to know what former land use bylaws required. So some may have been put there when it was proper, and then others may not have. So it's a big mess. Go ahead, Joe.
I'll make a kind of another comment. So, or I guess for administration to kind of explain to them, I guess how he said, I guess he was kind of singled out and picked, I guess, you know what I mean? No, not by us, but I'm just saying, So he had a good point when he said, why just me? So what if there's just say another 150 in town the same way, and you could see them, or I kind of see what he's saying. So if you drove by and you seen it, what kind of answer would we give him for that?
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, members of council, so I'll throw this out there. Our bylaw officer, our land use development officer, they don't go into backyards looking for these things. Most of these things come through on complaint, right? That's how they come to us. I'll be honest with you, Joe, or Councillor Melnick, sorry. You came into my office and said, you walked around your neighborhood and went, oof, this could be a can of worms. And, from my perspective, again, I don't go looking around in the backyards either. And I'll take your word for it, because I did do a drive around today, just to see what I could see from the road, and without taking a tape measure, are they 5 feet, are they 4 feet, what are they? So I appreciate the comment, and it's something that I don't have an answer for right away. It's certainly something that we can look at. I will say fire is one of the reasons for the setbacks. The other reason is most lots, most in-town lots will drain. I'll use my hands here if you can see. So if your lot goes this way, they drain this way and this way. And so one of the other reasons for not obstructing those property lines is to allow drainage to get to the back. Because technically you're not allowed to drain your water onto your neighbor's property. So if you have something right along your fence line, it either has to be diverted into your yard, or it's gonna drain into your neighbor's yard. And so that's the other, quote, technical reason for that. The letter you got, and I haven't seen it.
Me neither, yeah.
Well, I'm guessing the letter says you either have to move it or apply for a variance. Is
Essentially, yeah.
essentially what happens. One of the issues with applying for a variance is, as we all know in our land use bylaw, applying for a variance is, quite frankly, pricey.
Yeah, it's $475.
Yeah, it's a big number. And if we have that many, I think there's some options that we can work through administratively with MPC to say, what is the variance that's gonna be allowed? Because as council's heard me say a number of times, if you're gonna take a variance to MPC and MPC is gonna say yes to that variance every time, then that basically becomes your land use bylaw, right? And so there's one or two ways to do this, is have everybody apply for a variance, or we do a land use bylaw amendment, right? But I think that's a discussion that council has to have first. And we can have that discussion. And what I would say today is that we won't do any enforcement on anything, because our enforcement is on complaint. What we don't want to do is we don't want to go through a whole bunch of issues, because if it is that widespread, give us a chance to find out, get in that on an order of magnitude, and then we can have a discussion with council about what we do. And so that we just don't enforce while we're having this discussion administratively with council. That would be my suggestion for council at this point in time.
That's one of the questions, excuse me, Sean had for me, was how it comes about. Is it complaint driven, or is it just, you know, and I didn't have the answer for him. I wanted to ask you guys first, so, yeah.
So, Sean, go ahead.
Sorry, I would just like to ask, well, I'll put a motion forward that we direct administration to give this gentleman a letter stating that no enforcement will be imposed upon him until council and administration reviews it.
The little bit of a fly in that ointment is it won't be in the next week. It won't be something that'll happen that fast.
No, that's, no, it's just
As
like.
long as you trust us enough to make sure that we keep it on the burner and we look for honest answers.
You betcha. Yeah, that's all I was honestly. I just wanted some clarification and just some understanding of the rules and, you know, how it, you know, might change if just there's, you know, hundreds of other people in the same boat. Because I know people have already been asking me like, oh, what are you guys going through right now? And I was like, hold on, I'm going to a council meeting. I've never been to one yet, so I'll let you know when I get through this one.
We'll open that door a little further. You and everyone else is always welcome in council. We enjoy having a crowd here, and we don't see it anywhere near enough. So, any further discussion with regards to the motion on the table? No, not seeing any. I'll call that question. All in favor? So your answer, sir, is we're going to keep looking at it.
Sounds great.
All right?
I appreciate that. Thank you guys very much, and thank you for having me.
No,
Thank
Good one for
you.
coming, Sean.
anytime.
See you, Sean.
Take care.
Have a good one. Yeah, you're welcome. See you.
All right.
Mr.
No,
Mayor, if I could. I know this gentleman's aware of this. It is a complaint. It did come in as a complaint. Ironically enough, the neighborhood, the complainant also has a shed that's too close to their, and got basically the same letter. So the issue about complaints is, you know, on this one, and like I said, nobody goes around into backyards trying to find these things. They come on complaint. But the other thing we don't want to do is we don't want to open up that can of worms with people going around with complaints. Because as we know through the community standards bylaw, specifically on nuisance and unsightlies, yeah, we do them on complaint, but we don't do a lot of work on the complaints on nuisance and unsightlies if the complainant isn't in the neighborhood, because we don't want people from one part of town going over and going, well, you know, this and this and this and this, because, you know, we don't want our, and I'll use this term, we don't want our bylaws to be weaponized in that form. And in this case, if we do have a widespread problem, we're gonna look at the problem and come up with a better answer than waiting for neighbors to complain on each other, because that just causes all kinds of issues, as we know.
So, on that, I had a call from a town resident about somebody in their neighborhood, because they have to use their back alley, and they come out of the back alley, and this person has got a couch they have one of those side lots which has a fence for their backyard, but then they have that kind of a empty boulevard. There's no sidewalk or anything, but between their fence and the side, they have a couch there, they have clothing thrown over the fence. Like,
Is it in use or is it garbage?
it looks very unsightly.
Again-
How is this?
Again, those are, you know, we get the e-service requests all the time. We'll certainly follow up on it, but again,
Somebody has to.
the level of enforcement is tied to where the complaint is coming from. Again, we don't want especially our community standards bylaw, we don't want people going from, you know, one side of town to the other and going, well, that one and that one and that one doesn't meet, you know, I wouldn't want to be living next door to that. That's fine.
You're not.
But, you know, nuisance and unsightly is it detrimental to the neighborhood? Our rule of thumb is if the neighborhood starts to complain, then we start to get aggressive with the enforcement. Until then, we use education, I guess, would be probably the best way to do it. So if you have the address, give me an email tomorrow and we'll have a look at it.
Anything further on that? Thank you for that, Mr. Van Buell. It's one of those things that if we don't look at it, we're never going to resolve it. So, okay. Business rising out, oh, sorry, hang on, let me back up to 8.1. Minutes of September the 2nd, 2025 regular council meeting. Councillor Cosby?
We'll move that the minutes of September 2nd, 2025 River Council meeting be adopted as circulated.
Okay. Any discussion? Not seeing any, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Business arising out of the minutes and unfinished business.
None from administration, Mr. Mayor.
Council? Okay. Nothing under bylaws. New business. We have an RFD on the STIP grant. And that would be Mr. Davison, but I believe you're standing in for him today.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of council, with just the one item on the agenda, I let Mr. Davison go home. I'm pretty sure I can handle this one. So on the table today is a STIP grant funding request for some additional funds to do the bridge file 07442. Proposed motion is that council approve the budget amendment to the 2025 capital budget in the amount of $100,000 to be funded from the local government fiscal framework to support the completion of bridge file 07442 standard bridge replacement project under the Strategic Transportation Infrastructure Program, or the STIP grant. So I'm not going to read this to you, I'll give you the timeline. So back in 2023, we applied for the STIP grant. We had engineering done to about probably 40%, so we had a really good idea of kind of what our costs were going to be, because we needed that for the grant. We got notification in about June of 2024 that we got the grant, and now we can go ahead and finish the engineering and get all the everything in order to go. By the time we got our engineering finalized, it was late 2024. And now we got to apply. Now that the engineering's done, now we can apply for all of our environmental permits, both Alberta Environment, NAVCAN, etc. So in February of 2025, we applied for all of our permits through the consultants, Associated Engineering. Those permits, some of them, quite frankly, were done in a day. I will give credit where credit's due. There was one permit, I believe it was for Fisheries and Oceans, 2 days, February 25th, February 27th. There was another one on, I think it was Navigable Waters, don't quote me on this, but it was 1 day, February 28th, February 28th, it got stamped. Was, however, one federal one that was February 25th, and we didn't get it till June 27th of 2025. And what that meant was we missed our tendering, we missed the spring tendering, and we're stuck now with so when we did tender, we actually only got one tender in. The tender came in on budget. However, what our budget was included not just the work on the bridge, but it included the engineering. So now we've already spent engineering dollars, and the total cost of the project, we're estimating we're going to be about $68,000 over budget. The other thing that the tender amount ate up was it took away all of our contingency as well. So we have no contingency. So for the purposes of this, what we're asking council to do is give us the authority to go up to another $100,000. That'll give us about $32,000 worth of contingency, which we may or may not need, as we know. I don't think we'll need it because most of our there's not a lot of work to do underground. That's normally when you get your contingencies. But it is working in water. So the options on this, and it's not in the report, but the options in this are really, there's two other options. We send the money back to the province and say, we're not doing the project because we don't have the money, or we wait and we re-tender in 2026 now. The difficulty with that is we would have to apply for our permits again because the one permit expires in February of 26. The other permit does not allow us to work in the water do any work around the water between April 16th and June 30th. So if we wait to tender this project, we're probably not starting it until July 1st of next year. They will start as soon as they possibly can, and the majority of the work would be done before our moratorium comes in place on April 16th. So that's why administration is recommending that council approve the proposed budget amendment to ensure that the town can proceed with awarding the compliant tender and complete the bridge file replacement work. With that, I'd answer any questions that council might have.
Go ahead, Councillor.
I'll make the motion that council approve a budget amendment to the 2025 capital budget in the amount of $100,000 to be funded from the local government fiscal framework to support the completion of the BF 07442 standard bridge replacement project under the Strategic Transportation Infrastructure Program grant.
Discussion, go ahead, Councillor Spencer.
Before April could be tough if depending on the spring runoff anyway. So that could cause, and waiting another year could escalate the cost to that 100,000 anyway.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I would tell you that normally I would come forward and go re-tender, especially with only one bid coming in. The risk on this though, like we've seen our cost escalations right now, they're between 5 and 10% on an annual basis. So you can probably add, well, and you're not adding it on to 100,000, you're adding it on to 475,000, right? So I think there's a chance, can I sit here and tell you there's no chance that it would come in under? I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is that if you're a betting man and you're doing odds, I think there's probably an 80% chance that it's going to be more than that in 2026, and probably a 20% chance that it's going to be less than that. And that's the reason for the recommendation from the administration.
I know you've mentioned it here, but my real concern is what does this prevent us from doing? Because we're pulling another 100,000 out of that's my real concern on it.
Yeah, and you know, we all know that our capital budgets are tight, so that's 100,000 that we don't get to spend on another capital project. And how that sorts out, we'll deal with that in 2026 budget and our 10-year capital plan. Unfortunately, and the province is absolutely 110% adamant that once you get a grant, there is no more going back. You cannot go back to the well. They will not fund overages. We knew that walking in. Unfortunately, you know, the one message that I think our council at some point in time is going to have to bring to the government, you've got if your deadline is November of 2023, you've got to make decisions before June of 2024. That's because we're using when we use that as our date, we're using 2023 construction numbers. We've already lost a construction year for numbers. Then when you add on the approvals, now you've lost another year as far as cost escalations go. So we've got to find if we're going to be that tight on the dollars, then we've got to tighten up our deadlines. We've got to get these things in and approve quicker than what we're getting them.
Go ahead, Councillor Olson.
Exactly, I mean, cause you get, just from the other hat I wear, you put in for a grant September of last year, and you find out March of this year. There's no way anybody's gonna give you, guarantee those
prices.
quotes last year, you know? So, you're already, like you said, you're running into the negative already, before you even start.
You know, AE was, they were, I wouldn't call it embarrassed, but they were like, they're going like, guys, like, this is what happened, and like, we're sorry kind of thing, and we're going, hey, this isn't an associated engineering issue, right? This is a timing issue, and
It probably wouldn't hurt the situation either for us to pen a letter to Mr. Dreeshen and to Mr. Nally, explaining what happens when you wait 6.5 months for approval.
Well, it should be up Mr. Nally's file with the red tape reduction.
But I mean, it stands to reason that you may run into little nuances here and there, but if 2 federal agencies can give you approval in 48 hours or 72 hours, certainly there's an expectation that a couple of weeks is.
the one that took the longest was the federal one.
The federal
It was a Fed approval.
I thought you said NAV Canada and,
What was it here?
I can get it.
It's in your report.
Yeah.
yeah.
Transportation Canada's Navigation Protection Program approval
Yeah.
requires approximately 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was,
So we don't interfere with the 2 or 3 canoes just going down the river.
it was January to June.
Then certainly Mr. Cooper should hear. I had misread that. So,
Anyway, that's where we're at. Again, the options are, you know, we re-tender it and try again.
Like I
or-
said, we're gonna burn up the 100,000.
in no
Just-
time.
Yeah, and tendering inflation and,
Anything
see
further?
what we are now.
Because there's no real concrete work.
No, there's some removing some caps, and that's why I'm really confident that we can get all the work that needs to be done, quote, in the water, done before February if we get it underway. Once you're on top, then you're not touching anything down.
Because I was thinking more of eating and hoarding for, if we actually were doing some concrete pours and stuff. There was a couple of pillars being, or
So there's
something.
gonna be some concrete work that winter escalates the cost on.
Yeah.
But I know from previous tenders that we've done on bridge culverts and things like that in other municipalities, sometimes even if you do the tender in June, they'll go, yeah, we're gonna start in November. Because silting into water and stuff like that's way easier to deal with when you're doing frozen ground and ice.
Well, and especially you see now, the rivers are they're gonna be at their lowest point in November, right?
So,
In years.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the North Saskatchewan recently. It's scary.
Anything further from council? Motions on the table to accept the recommendation of administration. Call that question, all in favor? And that's carried. 11.2 is off of the agenda. Agenda item number 12, reports. Anything, Councillor Olson?
I had a report submitted, but just was not submitted.
We'll probably catch for the,
Sorry?
I said, did I miss yours? I'm sorry.
it'll catch up on the count.
Pretty close to Councillor Cosby's, maybe a day or two. Other than that, my summer vacation was pretty close to hers.
Councillor Spicer, anything?
Nothing to put in.
Councillor Williams?
Nothing at this time.
Nothing, Your Worship.
Okay. My only report is I spent an entire day with Alberta Industrial Heartland Association on Wednesday last, and very informative day. Enjoyed it immensely. You'll see it in my next report. Anything further on yours, Councillor Cosby?
No. As presented.
As presented? Okay, thank you. Look for a motion to accept the reports as presented.
Make that motion, Your Worship.
Councillor Melnick, thank you. Discussion? Call that question, all in favor? And that's carried. Agenda item 13.1. Correspondence. Census Canada is looking for census takers. Seems to happen every now and again. There is, on the poster, there is connections as to how you would go about with the QR code and connecting with StatsCan. Village of Andrew is inviting us to, how did they put it here?
Watch a drone take off.
Yeah. So it's a beyond visual line of sight drone flight trial conducted between the Andrew Rural Academy and St. Paul Municipal Airport. The flight combines the work of the iArt Alliance and the Sky Market Initiative, two innovative projects driving the integration of drones into regional logistic networks. So we've been invited to attend, and I'll leave that to individual councillors who wish to attend. Alberta Hub Skyways project. Alberta Hub secured funding from the Government of Alberta for the Alberta Hub Skyways project to lay the groundwork to develop a drone-friendly ecosystem to enable advanced air mobility activities, such as beyond visual line of sight drone operations for drone-based delivery of goods, precision agriculture using drones, and support infrastructure development for electric aviation. So the media release is there with respect to their activities, again in Andrew. Legal is sending an invitation to us with respect to the opening of their Sturgeon Valley Fertilizer Sports Center. Grand opening on Friday, October the 3rd and Saturday, October the 4th. They've asked for an RSVP by the end of this week, Thursday, Friday the 19th. And I'll leave that with the individual councillors who wish to attend to RSVP to that. They've also included the schedule of events on a poster type thing. So October the 3rd is the speeches and ribbon cutting, and October the 4th is opening ceremonies, et cetera, et cetera. So a full 2 days planned in Legal for the opening of their new arena complex. And then the one that I was happiest to get into my mailbox, we have a letter from Alberta municipalities congratulating Councillor Olson on being chosen for the Award of Excellence in 2025. There's a personal invitation for him to attend on November the 11th, starting at 6 p.m., which is an interesting date, considering what...
I've been thinking, leave there, pew!
Yeah. But on behalf of all the council, Councillor Olson, I think when we forwarded the application, we'd figured out it was 16 years? 15 years that you have been a mainstay for the municipality. And I'd like to very much thank administration for putting that application together. You did a very good job. But more importantly, thank you, Councillor Olson, for all you've done for the community over that time frame. It's to be commended.
Thank you. Thank you to council for nomination too. How do I tell them the only dietary restriction I got is small plates?
Just like that.
Just wondering.
Is it the plate or the room on the plate?
Yeah.
So with that comment, I'll look for a motion from council to accept general correspondence.
I can make that motion, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Crosby. Discussion? Call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. We have one item of correspondence that's been added to the agenda for with action, 13.2.1. I don't,
Mine doesn't open either.
Just unlocked.
mine's good, but there's nothing FOIP on this at all. Okay, so we've been invited by Sergeant DeHaan to meet with the RCMP Commanding Officer of Alberta and other senior executive members. This is the annual invitation that we do get. If there's something you feel we should be talking to the higher command about, this is our opportunity. Being that it's in Calgary this year, there's a possibility we might get chosen to touch base with them. It's hard to say. But I'm wondering if council has anything that they would like. You've got the letter, you've got it, and you've got it?
Yeah.
Does anybody here not have it?
No matter, it's like you said, it's just the fact of looking for an invite.
That's all it is.
Whether we want to accept the invite.
Yeah.
Somebody else want? Yeah, I can't open it on mine for some reason. I even refreshed it. It's still-
Is there anything that anybody has in the back of their minds that it would be important? I'm thinking, once again, that we should be pushing for stronger support and enforcement at the Opal Corner as one, and as much support as we can give our local detachment for their chronic offender program activity, because it seems to be having an effect in our area, and I think higher echelon should know that it is being applied and it is effective. Go ahead, Mr. Van Buren.
If I could, just on the enforcement of, the Opal Road corner. I hate to say this, but I think the enforcement is, quite frankly, more on the road, on that road, not just at the corner.
Yeah.
In the
North
last
and
little
south,
while-
east and west.
Yeah, like, Highway 28 is obviously a focal point for the RCMP and their traffic enforcement unit, and I get it. The highway's very busy. But I've taken the opportunity to go a different route, and man, the speeds on those roads around, like, coming off of the plant and down Opal Road, like, they're big.
And the number of semis that are taking Opal Road south now is astronomical.
And if you're doing 100 on that road, you better pull over, because you're gonna get run over. Like, 100 is we'll be doing 60. Like, you get passed on that road, if you're doing 100, you'll get passed on that road, you'll be standing, like you're standing on the side of the highway with your thumb out.
I do see a pile of RCMP on there though, 'cause I travel south quite often, and every time I see an RCMP officer.
But
Can't be
Those were
there all
the-
day, all day.
No, and
Yeah.
that's absolutely fair, right?
And those were the only two that popped into my mind was those two issues, but I'm asking council if there's something else that they think, or if we should even ask to speak with the senior administration. And just so everybody's aware, I think some of you have been part of those meetings, but this is for us, it'll be the Eastern Alberta District Commander, the Criminal Ops, OIC of Criminal Operations. It'll be the chief, or the super in charge of Alberta, and the Justice Minister's workforce. Usually is who's in that room, so.
NCO.
Justice Minister, you said?
They usually have a rep listening in when we talk with the kids.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to grab one thing off this. I think it's kind of cool.
Eastern Alberta District Advisory NCO for the Redwater Attachment.
Yeah, that's the Northeast,
So you know who that is now?
yes.
It's Jeff Saint. So Jeff was a sergeant here before.
Yeah.
Before Nathan. So he's
He knows the
left Westlock already, and now he's the Eastern District Commander.
Oh, nice.
They're out of St. Paul, aren't they?
He's the white suit, yes.
So,
That quick?
yeah.
The only other thing that I have pushed in the past that we haven't seen any movement on is having our court cases scheduled for certain days and times in the courthouse in the fort, and have a standard link that anybody who wants to see what's going on can actually join in and see that, so.
So do we want to put a request for those three items in then?
I don't think it hurts.
It doesn't cost us anything.
Great.
Courthouse in Redwater would even be better, but
We had one.
I don't know, bring it back.
So,
When he comes out.
would anyone like to make that motion?
I'll make
Or
the,
a motion out of
I'll
the
make a
action?
motion that you present those three things as topics that we want to talk to the RCMP about. Word it nicer than that.
Anything else from council? I'll call that question, all in favor? And that's carried. Councillor Olson?
Motion adjourned. Slow.
I'm letting you do it.
Thank you. We have one cow meeting and one regular council meeting left, so
Wow.
the term is coming to an end.